afternoon, good night. How you doing? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Today we are going to have a serious conversation. Well, maybe not a serious conversation, but there's going to be a serious talk happening here. Now, of course, I'm only doing the talking, but just stay tuned. Hey y'all, what's up? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right podcast. Thanks for tuning in again. I am going to do another type of episode, except this is kind of an answer to another one. Anyhow, sometimes, wait, hold on. I should cut that. Nah, I won't cut that. Listen, remember this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I like to do different types of episodes from time to time, and this is one of them. We'll be answering episode 229 if you listen to that. Apparently somebody liked it. It's kind of funny. Somebody asked me to, I think they wanted to be on my podcast. Anyhow, I haven't got that far yet, although it is 236, actual 236. I think it's like more like 240 recordings. Like it might not be all full episodes, but yeah, I'm getting up there. But I thought I was going to be done by like 91. It's kind of funny that I'm over here at 236, but anyway. All right, listen up, because this is a long one. It's not going to be as long as 229, I believe, but I mean, what am I telling you for? You already know. I don't even know at this point. Okay, here we go. Sometimes there's a story you think you know until you hear it from the other side. In episode 229, I gave you one voice, the person left behind, the one who finally stopped chasing. This time, you're going to hear from the one who left, the one who stayed quiet, the one who pulled away, maybe without explanation, maybe without warning, but not without reason. This isn't an apology. It's not a rebuttal. It's not an attempt to fix what's already broken. It's a letter from an avoidant partner to the one they couldn't let all the way in. If you've ever loved someone who couldn't give you the closeness you needed, or if you've been that someone who couldn't step closer no matter how much you wanted to, this is for you. And like before, it's one voice, uninterrupted, just you, me, and the truth as they see it. This is what silence heard. Letter from the avoidant partner. Good evening. Or maybe it's morning where you are. I wouldn't know anymore. I'm not saying that with malice. It's just truth. I've thought about writing this more times than I'd even ever admit out loud. But I've always had a habit of keeping certain things tucked away, somewhere between my chest and my throat. You once called it distance. I called it breathing room. You probably expected that if I ever spoke again, it would be to explain myself, to win you back, or to undo what happened between us. This isn't that. I'm not here to rewrite the story or even defend myself. I'm here to put words to something I've never managed to say face to face. Not to you, not to anyone. You always wanted to know why I pulled away. Why sometimes, even in the middle of a laughing time with you, I'd seem to vanish without leaving the room. It wasn't because you did something wrong necessarily in that moment. It was because being close, truly close, has never felt natural to me. Not in the way it seems to feel for other people. For me, intimacy has always been like standing in the sun too long. At first, it's bright, it's warm, almost perfect. Then suddenly, it's too much. The light gets harsh, the heat starts burning my skin, and all I can think about is getting back into the shade. The shade is quiet. The shade is safe. The shade is where I can hear my own thoughts again, where everything isn't so on display and colors meld into other colors, and it's dark. You might think that means I didn't value what we had, that I didn't care, but that's not it. I cared in my own way, the only way I knew how. Problem is, my way has never looked like the movies or the stories people tell each other about love. My way has always been about holding on loosely. Not because I want to let go, but because gripping too tightly makes me feel like I can't breathe. When I was a kid, closeness was unpredictable. I never knew what was going to happen. The people who were supposed to stay would sometimes disappear. Not always physically, but emotionally, almost like they were on autopilot at times. So I learned early that the safest place to stand was just far enough back that if someone left, it wouldn't knock me off my feet. That's what I carried into every relationship after, including ours. I know you could feel it. You'd lean in, and I'd lean just far enough to make it look like I was still there. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was just trying to survive something invisible that's been following me since before I knew your name. Before you were in my world. I could see the way you wanted more from me. More presence, more reassurance, more whatever it is that makes people feel like they're fully together. I wanted to give it. Sometimes I even thought I was giving it. But the truth is, I was always holding a part of myself back, even when I didn't mean to. It's like my hands would open and close on their own. One moment I'd be there, the next I'd be gone. There were times you looked at me like you were trying to read the last page of a book before you'd finish the first chapter. It felt like you were seeing too much. And maybe you were. You always seemed to be searching for something in me. Some proof, some assurance, some yes I couldn't bring myself to give. Not because I didn't feel it, not because I didn't care, but because I did. Too much, too soon, too fast for someone like me. When you got close, I could feel my chest tightening, not in a romantic butterfly way, but in a danger is coming way. My body doesn't know the difference, I'm ashamed to say. Love for me has always felt like standing too close to the edge of the cliff. And I'm afraid to fall. And I'm afraid of heights. And I'm afraid of the unknown. Even when the view is breathtaking, my legs are bracing for the fall. So I'd pull back. Not because I wanted you gone, but because I wanted to feel the big feelings to stop before it swallowed me. You thought my distance was cold. It was fear. You thought my silence was punishment. It was self-preservation. I never told you that sometimes when I wouldn't text back for hours or days, it wasn't because I forgot. It was because I was staring at the screen, feeling the weight of what it meant to reply. Because every message was a door, and I wasn't sure I could step through without losing some part of myself. You wanted closeness, and I wanted to give it. And at the same time, I wanted to run from it. I know you probably felt unwanted, maybe even unloved. And I need you to hear this. That wasn't the truth. The truth was, you mattered so much to me that it scared me. You were warm in a way that burned my skin. And I didn't know how to stand in it without catching fire. There were moments, small ones you probably wouldn't even remember, where I almost told you everything. Like the night you laughed at something I said and then touched my arm without thinking. My first instinct wasn't to lean into it. It was to pull away before you could feel my heart racing. Because if you felt it, you'd know. And if you knew, you might ask me for more than I knew how to give. And that's horrifying for me. I never told you how much I noticed. I noticed the way your eyes would search mine for a sign I wasn't going anywhere. I noticed how your voice softened when you thought I might slip away. I noticed how you'd make little jokes to bridge the spaces, the quiet spaces between us. And I noticed how each time you reached out, part of me wanted to grab your hand and not let you go, but I didn't. Not because I didn't want to, because I didn't trust myself to know what to do when I got that close. You once asked me why I didn't fight for us the way you did. The truth is, I thought I was. Every time I stayed when I wanted to run, every time I bit my tongue instead of picking a fight, every time I showed up when I didn't know how to show up, that was my fight. Inside. But I know now that to you, it probably looked like surrender. When you left, or maybe it's more honest to say, when I let you leave, I told myself it was for the best. That you'd be better off with someone who could give you the consistency you needed. And for a while, I believed it. I told myself the silence was mutual, that we were both better for it. But in the middle of the night, when my guard is down and there's nothing but the sound of my own breathing, I know the truth. I didn't let you go because I didn't care. I let you go because I didn't know how to keep you without losing myself. You think I don't remember? I remember everything. The sound of your voice when you were tired but still called to say goodnight. The way you'd watch me when you thought I wasn't looking. The way your laugh would hit me in my chest and make me feel something I didn't have a name for. And I remember the last time we saw each other. The way you didn't ask me to stay. The way you walked away without looking back. That was the moment I realized you had finally learned to stop chasing. And oh boy, that hurt in a way I didn't think I could still feel. I've told myself for so long that I'm fine on my own, that I don't need anyone, that the ache I feel sometimes is just habit, not truth. But there are nights I wake up and reach for you before I even realized what I'm doing. Or times I reach for the phone to send you a message, but my hand hits the cold side of a bed, or I put the phone down and I just lie there, staring into the dark, wondering what you say, wondering everything. And it's not about the bed, or the room, or even the memories. It's about knowing there was a time when I could have reached you. And you'd be there. But I didn't. I stayed still. I stayed silent. And I thought that would keep me safe. I was wrong. The silence didn't save me. It carved me out. You want to know the truth? I hear your absence everywhere. In the pauses between my sentences, in the way my phone lights up and it's never your name, in the way I don't bother telling certain stories anymore, because they'll all start with, remember when, and there's no one here to remember with me. I used to think I could keep my world small and still feel whole. That if I kept my heart locked up, nothing could touch it. But now I see nothing could touch it because nothing could reach it. And that's not protection. That's a kind of loneliness I can't explain to anyone who hasn't lived it. I don't know if you'll ever hear this or care to. Maybe it's better if you don't. But if you do, I need you to understand I didn't stay distant because you weren't enough. I stayed distant because I was afraid that if you saw all of me, the parts I keep hidden, the places that never healed, that you'd leave me anyway. So I left first. Or as I said before, I let you go. Even while I was standing right in front of you. I won't ask you to come back. Not because I don't think about it, but because I know I'm still the same in ways that matter. And to invite you back into this would be to invite you back into the same walls, the same silence, the same unspoken rules that broke us before. You deserve more than that. More than my half light, my half love, my half presence. You deserve someone who can stand in the sun without flinching, who doesn't measure every single touch, every word, every syllable, and every gesture, like they're balancing an equation in their head. I can't be that person. Not today. Maybe not ever. But I can be honest enough to say that your leaving didn't pass over me like I pretended it did. It stayed. In the corners of my mind, in the quiet moments I don't share with anyone, in the way I sometimes still catch myself looking for you in the crowd, on the street, in traffic, in the mall. If you've moved on, I hope it's into the arms that can hold you the way I couldn't. If you haven't, I hope you're not waiting for me to knock on your door. I won't. Not because I don't care, but because this is the kind of care I have. The kind that lets go before it destroys what's left. I'll carry what we had the only way I know how. Silently. Like a photograph in a drawer I can't bring myself to throw away, but never take out because I can't stand to look at what I don't have anymore. It will be there, untouched, until maybe it fades or whatever happens to things that aren't thrown away but are not accessed by those it matters to. And maybe that's all there is to say. So I'll end here before I take back anything I've managed to give you in these words. Before I let fear wrap itself around my throat and make me swallow the truth again. Take care of yourself. You always did, even when you had me. And that's it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that little letter there. You know, there's so many different people in this world with so many different types of attachments and, well, not types, but mixes. Some people would say that they're this or they're that, or they have bits of this and they have bits of that, or sometimes they feel this way and sometimes they don't. At the end of the day, all you can do is do your best, you. No one can do a better you than you. So be you. Be yourself. Be careful. And not necessarily so you don't get hurt, but be careful for other people. And yeah, you have to watch out as well. But the greatest gift you can give anyone is love. Remember that. Take care. It's MCM signing off, and this has been another episode of You're Probably Right. Until next time, take care. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, well, very few topics off the table, hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere.